you heard the figure that I called, which was my money. The young man says it's his money and he takes the car. Hi guys, welcome to the flip side of Joshuanette's world. Over here, we talk about finance, lucrative lifestyle choices, investment, and personal development. Guys, today I'm giving you some magic, some things you should think about before you buy your first car. If you already bought a car and you're thinking of upgrading, these tips can also be used because somebody needs to say it. So let's just give you some backstory on my car. 2021, the 25th of January, actually made 2 years since I bought my car. But before we get into my current car, we're going to talk about my first car, and I'm going to give you some backstory before we even get to buying my car. So when I started to work at first, I actually didn't buy a car because I didn't think it was necessary. There's public transportation, so I got the public bus. And then in 2016, I applied for my second job, and I was a part-time worker. So I worked for 6 p.m. Then I moved to working for 5. Then I moved to working for 4. And what happens is I leave from my first job at 1:30. I would get the bus to the bus station, from the bus station to Buckley's, from Buckley's back to the bus station, from the bus station back to St. Mary's, Bolands, around there. And technically, when I worked for 6 o'clock, getting to work on time is easy. When I worked for 5 o'clock, getting to work on time was easy. And then when I worked for 4, it was just not as easy because I am leaving from so far to get to the city, to get to Buckley's, it was a lot. However, before I bought my first car, I went to the bank and I bought my first piece of land. I am going to have a video where I go through all the details as to how you can purchase land. And I really believe that before you buy a car, you need to be thinking about investing your money into something that appreciates and not something that depreciates. Land appreciates, car depreciates. Cars are expensive. So even before I bought my first car, I worked a whole year of that, like my 2 jobs, just like going, and then I bought my first car. So I'm gonna give you guys a story. You gotta know. So you guys have watched my planning video and you've seen this book. So every year I have a diary that I write all of my things down in so I can keep track of my days, keep track of progress and all these things. And for some reason, I just don't throw them away. I am not sure why, I just haven't. So I have diaries from since 2016 straight to 2021. I actually have this year's diary. This is actually this year's diary. I actually upgraded, so I no longer use the planner. I use a notebook which doesn't have dates because I put in the dates myself. But still, I'm gonna give you the story. So we're in 2017 at this point, and we're thinking about buying a car because it's obviously a bit more hectic to get from one job to the next. Again, I bought my land before I bought this car. And I'm gonna open the page. My car, when I went to the dealer, I bought my car in Antigua and Barbuda because I wanted it right away. And the cost of the car was $14,000. And the check that I got okay, the check that I got to buy my car, according to my book here, $11,283. So I could have bought the car cash, like in a couple months, and on the rest buy the car cash. However, my boyfriend at the time convinced me that that didn't make sense. I know you're saying the same thing. So at this time, we started our business and we were doing some renovations and we're doing some work. So we decided instead of paying for the car in full, we're gonna pay for a portion of the car and then we'll pay for it monthly, and we're gonna use some of the money to invest in the business. And that is what we did. Fast forward to 2018. You heard the figure that I called, which was my money. The young man says it's his money and he takes the car. He takes the car, he takes the business, he takes all the clothes that he made for me, and I go back to getting the bus. I'm gonna have a full video where I tell you guys about how to get over suicidal thoughts and how to get over depression, because I'm telling you, 2018, at the end of 2018 was a horrible year. Horrible. Everything I've worked for 2 years, gone in a matter of months. Gone. Anyways, that's not why we're here. So I go back to catching the bus, and I still have my 2 jobs. However, at this point, it's hard for me to get from one job to the next. So we're now going to think I have to buy a next car. And this is why I will say to anybody, when you see people moving up in life, you don't know their story. You don't know their struggles. Do not be jealous of anybody. For months, I went to work and I slept on 3 chairs. When I recognized that this distance to leave from my first job to home to my second job, I would always be late, I made the decision that I'm gonna sleep under the deck. Thank God for my cousin Sam and for Kaylin. When it's time for work, they would come and nudge me and be like, Josh, it's time for work. I'm really grateful for the management team. At that point, I walked with 4 bags. So I had my handbag, I had my lunch kit, I had my tote bag, and I had my bag with my change of clothes. And many days I went to work, I moved from full glam teacher mode to full being a hostess mode. And I am telling you, I am saying to you, I worked 2 jobs and I didn't get a car in the beginning. And let me give you another tip. Before I bought my second car, when I was sleeping on those chairs, before I bought my car, I bought more land. Land appreciates, car depreciates. So if I can do it, you can do it. I celebrated 2 years with my car, but I slept on chairs. I cried. I remember there was an instance when I was getting the school bus, and the school bus conductor was like, I can no longer get the bus because she didn't like me. And the bus driver was like, I'm a teacher and teachers aren't supposed to get the school bus. And I remember walking up the road, tears running down my eyes. I'm like, Joshuanette, I really have to go through this. And I went back. So it was easy for me to get the school bus. So I would leave from home and go to town and get the school bus to school instead of getting another regular bus, because getting the regular bus meant that I would have to walk down the school road. So I got the school bus. However, the conductor, I'm just not going to say what she was, but that didn't work out. And I remember many days I felt like giving up. Many days I bawled my eyes out.
Future Joshuanette checking in. I am here to tell you that those days that you spent crying and sleeping under the deck and making that decision to buy that second piece of land instead of buying a car is going to be one of the best financial decisions you made in your entire life. The struggle is going to be your story, and it's going to be the best decision. I know it's hard. I know you're tired, but we are going to be fine.
Many days I felt stressed out. I'm telling you, at one point, although I am working my 2 full-time jobs, I've always given my fifth formers after class. So we have classes every Monday from 1:30 to 2:30, and then I clock in for my other job at 4 o'clock. And I remember one of the days I forgot my flat shoes, and I walked from the bus stop walking into my second job, and I'm telling you, I just bawled. And I was like, Father God, it can't be this hard to get things in life. And then you will see me now with my car and be like, oh, you don't know my story. Don't come in the middle of the success part and be like, oh no, you don't know my story. And I'm saying to you, I'm saying to anybody who's watching this video, anybody that you see with things in life, whereas I am open, and I'll tell you, I slept on 3 chairs, I ate some crackers and cheese, I had some noodles, I had many days when I cut back. I'm saying to you that getting a car is not a priority. However, if after your dices are checked and you recognize that, yes, I want to get a car, these are some things you should consider. And I'm talking about for people living in Antigua and Barbuda. You are young, and I'm saying to you, if you are young and you have your first job, you do not need a car. Go buy some land. Go buy something that can make you money. Invest your money in a business. Do not buy a car. However, if you're at the stage and you need to buy a car, here are some things that you should consider. Number 1, what is your budget? I'm telling you, when I went car shopping, I recognized that cars range from $10,000 to $100,000. I'm just like, why is a car worth $100,000? Like, and then there were cars that worth more than that. Like, what am I doing in this car? Like, why is it so much money? Like, you have to set a budget. And my budget, I'm not buying no car that would cost more than $20,000. Call me cheap, call me whatever you want to call me. But my budget is between 10K and 20K, and my car was 10K. I am not about to buy a car that is worth so much money and I be paying rent, or I don't have a house. Personal, again, this is my personal tips to you. I'm saying to you, you have to first set a budget. Set a budget. How much am I willing to spend on this car? What am I looking for in a car? We're going to get into all of the other things that we can look for, but first thing first, you have to set that budget. How much money do I have to spend? How much money am I willing to spend to get this car? Now that we've talked about, okay, we know how much we're willing to spend. Some things that I personally consider. I considered, how big are my tires? Like, my tires, new brand, cost $112. Like, when I was looking for cars, I was like, I want a car with small tire, small engine, and good gas mileage. So I bought myself a Honda Fit. My car will take $100 gas per week. My tires are $112 to insure my car. My car is actually, because I didn't buy it through the bank, so I don't owe anybody, my car is actually third party, and it doesn't cost me $500 to insure, and when I go to transport board, it doesn't cost me $400. So my car to license and insure, actually this year it ran me just about it ran me about $800, and I didn't even get to 800. It was 700 high. I am saying to you, when you are thinking about a car, think budget friendly. I am saying to you, we are bossing up and we're leveling up, and one way is to save on these stuff. Like mileage, do you know how much gas you have to burn when your car has a really big engine? Or do you know how much it costs for tires if your car is like super expensive? Like, I'm not bashing anybody, but I drove my sister's van for 1 week and I just had to give it back to her because I can't afford that gas. But then again, my sister, based on her circumstance, I am single, I have no children, my car fits perfect for me. Joy is my child at this point, and I put down my seats and Joy goes into the back of my car. Joy is legit living her best life, and Denver is trying to also live his best life. So I'm a full-fledged dog mom, and I'm taking Joy to the vet this morning, and I leave the car for 2 minutes and then she jumps over and she's now on my back seats. And anybody who knows me knows I don't wash cars, so now I need a car wash and a seat wash because my dog decides that she needs to be more comfortable because the back apparently isn't comfortable enough. She ran away this morning and I had to be running behind her, and I just have a dog that's now lying in the back seat. Imagine if I had important documents behind her. and you think you can get her to move where? How? And she fits fine. But if you are family oriented, maybe you need a bit more space. So my sister, she does need a bit more space because she has 3 children, so that's 2 car seats and her bigger daughter. So obviously a Honda Fit wouldn't necessarily be the best car for her. And again, this goes back to tip number 1. What is your budget? And after you think about your budget, you have to think about, how am I going to maintain this car every year? And I'm telling you, gas ain't cheap. And I'm telling you, COVID has taught us, like my friend and I were laughing, like, how do we cut down this gas budget? Like how? Like, what do I do? Do I not, like, literally, like, you're literally thinking about, how do I cut down in different places? And we're like, maybe you just don't drive as much. Like, I was so grateful when I got my transfer to another secondary school, just because I feel like I live closer. So I burnt less gas. Yes, I still had to go to the other side of the island for my second job, but I didn't have to go there twice, so I burnt less gas. And when my car tire pops, I just don't want to spend $200 on a tire. Like, I don't want to spend $800 to license and insure my car. I'm saying to you, after you think about the amount that you want to spend, we're going to be practical. Like, how much is it going to cost for us to keep this car up and running on an everyday basis? Point number 3, when we're thinking about our car, are we gonna get our car online or are we gonna get our car from a dealer here? So my first car that I actually bought it from a dealer here, just because it just made sense. I didn't want to go through the hassle of buying the car, waiting for 3 months to get the car, going to the port. So I just didn't want that. I just wanted it now. I wanted it now. Like, that JG Wentworth commercial, it's my money and I need it now. Like, that was me with my first car. Like, it's my money and I need it now kind of vibe. But for my second car, I actually bought my car in the November, and my car got to Antigua and Barbuda the January. So as I said, January the 25th, my car actually landed. I didn't go through the hassle. Thank you very much, Wayne, for going through all of those hassle. I'll leave his contact information below here. So if you're in Antigua, you can link him and he will get your car here for you. So he went through the whole process. So he contacted the dealer. He did everything. Well, I did choose my car. I wanted a Honda Fit. I wanted it to be black. And I wanted, Honda Fit black. Or I was thinking about getting a Vitz, but I didn't bother get a Vitz because my first car was a Honda. So I figured that I would get another Honda. And like, even going to the port, I only went to get my car from the port. So I actually drove my car outside of the port. But that again, this motherfucking car. Oh Lord, the excitement too can die. I'm too excited about this shit. Decision also came, and it cost me less to do that because I'm a teacher, so I got teachers, we get duty-free off. Again, if you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, get the link up if you're gonna buy your car from online. But there are many people who buy their car here, and also you just have to think about like what works for you. Is it like I want my car now, or is it like I can wait 3 months? And when I was gonna buy my second car, I was willing to wait. I was already back to catching the bus. Like, it was already a routine, so it didn't really bother me. So I'm just saying that's something to consider. Am I gonna buy my car online or am I gonna buy it from a dealer here? Number 4, what we gotta consider: are you gonna buy your car new or are you gonna buy your car used? Again, your girl is here trying to stack some pennies, and I'm not about to buy a new car. That is my personal opinion. I bought my car, and I'm saying to you, again, you buy your car used, and when it came, it had a transmission issue. So I ended up having to spend $4,000 to get a transmission and to pay the guy to do it. And that's been my only major issue with my car, other than a flat tire here, needed to change the oil, the 3 months, everything. The only major issue I've had with my car is the transmission. And I know other people have really bad experiences with buying used car. Like, one of my friends was like, no, I'm not buying a used car, I'm only buying a new car. For me personally, I bought my 2 cars that I bought in my lifetime were used cars. Again, I am here trying to, as I said to you, I'm here trying to stack some dough. And even if I'm not stacking it on my bank account, I'm stacking it on paper somewhere. And I just don't think that I can truly afford a car that costs $80,000, $90,000. Like, I love my car. I love my car. But I'm not like a big car lover. Like, so there's some people who like pimp out their car. I'm not gonna do that. There's some people who are neat freaks about their car. So they wash their car every day. Like, my car is washed once a week. And then there'll be a part that I don't even wash. And that's also because I just don't have the time to wash my car. But I'm just saying to you, if you are into cars and you're a big car lover and you decide you want to buy a new car, please ensure you have a piece of land or you're already building your house before you go buy this new car, because it's pointless to buy a new car and be paying rent or be at home with your mother. Do things better. Act right. And the last tip that I want to give to you when you're considering buying a car. Okay, so we know our budget. We know what we're going to do. We know if we want it online. We know if we want it here. We're going to get a dealer. We have already gone through all of that. The big question is, am I going to save to buy this car or am I going to go to the bank? I do not believe in going to the bank to buy a car. Again, that is my personal belief, because your girl, what I did, am I allowed to say what I did? I am. So what I did, when I bought my second piece of land, the invoice was overstated. So I got the money from my land, actually from my 2 cars, that's what I did. And I was able to buy my car. So I got a loan for something else, and then I repurposed some of the funds to buy my car, because I just think that made sense. However, I could have saved. I could have thrown a box. You can throw a box. And if you don't know what a box is, it's where a pool of us come together and we put a particular amount each week and one person collects, whether it's weekly, monthly, or bi-weekly. You can do that. You can get into a savings plan, but ensure when you decide to buy a car, you are being smart with it. I am saying to you, I have had my second job for 4 years, and for 2 years out of those 4 years, I've gotten public transportation. I'm saying to you, getting a car is expensive. Like, every 3 months I have to pay the mechanic. Every year I have to pay for license and insurance. My car has a weird noise. I have to go to the mechanic. I have to get brakes. The light isn't working. I have to go to the mechanic. Like, there's just so much hidden cost attached to having a car. Please ensure you think deep and long before you buy a car. And for those of you who are females, I don't care if you're a male, I'm sorry, don't buy no car with no man. No. I told you my story. Don't do it. Don't do it. Is there a ring on your finger? Are you married? And if the answers to those questions are no, well, no, we're not buying no car with no man. No. Like, you learn from my mistakes. We're not doing it again. No. If there's anything that I missed out with regards to buying a car that you want to share with me or share with anybody else, knowledge is power. We're all here to grow and learn together. We're making boss moves. We're leveling up in life. Share it in the comment section below. I'm very active, so I actually do respond to, if not all of the comments, majority of the comments over time. And I'm saying to you, these tips and tricks are personal. These are what I have gone through, and I'm sharing it with you because I am sure that somebody else can use the advice that I'm giving them. And I'm saying to you, before you buy a car, ensure you have a land or a mortgage and something going on, and don't buy any cars with any man or any woman. And until the next video, guys, bye.